Welcome to Cathy's Gaming Hall.
Canada edition.
Yep, the Canadian edition. We went to Canada. We went to a bunch of game shops.
Yeah, I got I'm making the beginnings of making the Canada video, and I got a lot of video of game shops. This is what we got at those game shops.
Yep. So,
start out with something that we didn't get in Canada.
Yeah, we didn't. We got this yesterday here, kind of close to where we live. But
It's an
I got
NES Quick Shot.
a quick shot.
I believe is what it's called.
Was this actually made by Nintendo?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. But anyway, I just tried it out. It's really awesome and works great for shooters.
Yes, we tested out 2 shooters. It's pretty loud. I didn't like moving that stick around. It's really loud.
It is loud. The suction cups suck, or rather they don't. So you kind of have to hold it in place a little bit.
I'd probably play it like in my lap.
But you know what? It's worth $5.
And it's got something you didn't test out. I should have pointed it out. It's got like auto fire and stuff on it.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Maybe I'll test that out later. Also got this game, this contraption.
This fucking thing that we had to put on an airplane, and I was scared to death.
Yep.
The original Super Scope for the Super Nintendo. We also got she's probably got it in the pile over there, but we got the Super Scope 6 that comes with it, and the sensor that you have to plug into the Super Nintendo and put up over your TV.
Yep.
It fucking works like a charm. I messed around with it.
Yeah.
It really is. I don't want to spoil the game that we got, but the game was hard to play for me because looking through that thing, your vision's so narrow. And
that's true.
but I know it's accurate because they make you calibrate it before each game. You shoot that little target, and it goes right in the center. So, or it goes right where I put it at. So it's working.
So now we'll get to the games portion.
Yes, not the controller's portion.
Right. But I got Stinger
On the NES. It's a Twin B game. It's a Konami shooter.
Fun.
Yeah. I want the Super Nintendo versions. They're ridiculous little shooters.
Yep, it's in great condition, this game.
Yep.
And I really enjoyed it a lot. Probably gonna play it some more later with my Quick Shot.
Yep.
My new Quick Shot. Next on the NES, we got Rainbow Islands.
Well, that's the manual.
I know, but it comes with a manual.
Yep.
Rainbow Islands.
Somehow the sequel to Bubble Bobble.
It's pretty much the best game ever.
I only played it once.
You create all these rainbows, and you can use the rainbows to get to where you want to go. You just jump on all
They're
these
everything.
rainbows.
You kill enemies with them. You make
Yep.
little platforms to jump on top of them to get. It's like vertical levels, like you're going up and up and up and up.
And the artwork is really adorable.
Yeah, that's like some Nick Jr. shit right there. It looks. That's. I don't know what to think about that. I don't know if I like it or not.
Next, another NES game with a manual.
This was a gift,
What was a gift? Adventure Island 2.
which was a gift from your sister.
Yep. So that game is pretty fun.
Yes.
The artwork is pretty cool too.
Now we need Adventure Island 3.
Really colorful and nice. Yep. We got Joe and Mac.
Also from your sister, a gift.
She spoiled us rotten.
And the Deadiest arcade game also came out on the Super Nintendo. I saw that while we were out and about, but I did not get it because we had this. I wanted to mess around with this first.
Yep.
It's pretty fun. It's hard. Adventure Island 2 is easier.
Also in great condition. So that's it for the NES game. So let's move on to the next little set here. Ended up picking up a lot of Game Boy games.
A lot of portable games.
A lot of portable games, yep. We got Super Mario Land 2.
Yes, also a gift.
And that game is really fun. It might be my favorite game that we've gotten.
Yeah, I had it when I was a kid. It's a really good Mario game. I like it a lot.
I like it a lot too. I'm a big fan.
It's up there with one of my favorite Mario games.
And I ended up picking up this game and been looking at it for kind of a long time. But I got Snow Brothers.
Yep.
For the Game Boy.
A late Capcom release on the Game Boy and NES. I remember seeing ads for that game in comic books and stuff when I was reading at the time. Never played it though until you got it. It's a little, what do you call it, puzzle action game?
Yeah, you basically have this little screen and you throw snowballs at the enemies until you turn them into snowball, and then you hit the snowball and it sort of bounces around and you try to kill the other enemies. So in that way it's kind of like pinballish in a way.
It reminds me of Bubble Bobble.
Then I got this game called Penguin Wars, because who doesn't like penguins?
Me.
Going to war. But you can actually play as different animals. I like to play as the rabbit. But you basically have, it's like a versus scenario. You're against somebody else and you're trying to end up with the least amount of balls on your side. So you're constantly like throwing them back and forth. And whoever has the least amount wins. But you can also hit your opponent, which sort of makes them sort of stall and they're not able to like return the balls. So I think it's fun. I think it'd be super fun to play with somebody I know rather than the computer, which I think you can do. I just haven't tried that out yet.
You need another copy of the game in the link cable.
I also picked up this game because the cover looked cute, but it is Bubble Ghost.
Where you play as a ghost that blows a bubble around a level and you just have to keep the bubble from popping.
Yep. And it's pretty fun. I really like it so far. Haven't gotten too far in it though. But I beat a few levels. So now we're going to move on to
The Genesis.
the Genesis games.
These are the games I think all I bought was Sega Genesis games in the box. I was on a mission.
I'm not as attached to the Sega Genesis games as Andy is. But yeah, all these are because of him.
Yep.
So we got Battletoads Double Dragon.
The ultimate team up. This game's awesome. I've been wanting it for a while and I just got it in my head a long time ago. I wanted it on the Sega Genesis and in the box, but I also want the NES and Super NES version. But came with the manual and everything. It's probably might be my favorite game we picked up.
Really?
Yeah.
Next is Target Earth.
Target Earth is a little shooter, very early on the Sega Genesis. I think it came out in '90. And that box is white.
Yeah, it's sort of weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
Doesn't really go with the outside.
Saw a couple of copies up there. The prices were all over the place. And I saw the Japanese version more than I saw the American version. Assault Suit Lanos. Saw that 3 or 4 places. I think I saw this one only 2 or 3. And it was the last game that we picked up because I asked to be taken back to one of the first game stores we went to, and I was like, I want to get that game because I didn't get it when we first went there. I got it.
Next, we've got Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
I love the art on this.
Yeah, I rented it when I was a kid. It's a tough game to figure out because it's not like you're having to just go through levels and fight enemies and get to the end. You kind of have things you have to do. You have to take pictures or whatever. But I love the music. The music's really like almost alien sounding. It's really sparse. I don't know. I really like that game. Or I like the idea of that game. I don't know if I really like playing it.
This one's probably my favorite one that I played out of the Sega Genesis games.
It's a shooter.
Yep, the Biohazard Battle.
Yeah, I think it's a lot like is it Gyrus? Darius. It's a lot like Darius, where you just shoot a bunch of fish. The people who made Darius should sue. I think that's a title game. But yeah, it's a neat little shooter. I was hoping for. I'd never heard of it before, but I saw it and I just looked at the box. I was like, "Well, this is a shooter. I'm gonna pick this up," and it was cheap. I was like, "I'm gonna pick it up regardless." But I was hoping for maybe something a bit more frantic, a bit more like with some cool music and everything. But it's kind of like I don't know, uninspired.
So next is Steel Talons.
Steel Talons. It's a fucking flight simulator, a helicopter flight simulator on Sega Genesis. Got it from Toy Rat. I believe I've told this story before where if you buy enough games, he'll let you get a free game. for a certain price, and last time I panicked and picked Last Battle on the Sega Genesis, which is terrible. This time I panicked and picked Steel Talons, and it's also terrible.
It's terrible.
But it was a Sega Genesis game in the box, and it was free.
So next is X Mutants.
X Mutants. It's trying to be the X-Men real bad.
Destroy the Mutant Menace.
Yeah, you play as that dude on the front or the lady, and the dude just runs around with an axe hitting people. Yeah, it's got a nasty sticker on the front. Something needs to be done about.
Yeah.
But I was expecting that game to suck. I think it was like $8 or something that I got it for. I was expecting it to suck. It's not terrible.
Did I try this one?
You did. You played it for a while. You played as the girl. And then you played as the dude.
I played as the dude. I remember, yeah, I like this game. And then, classic.
Ghouls and Ghosts. I take it back. That was my favorite. Battletoads was my second favorite.
Really?
Yeah, that's the first game I got in Canada.
Man, Ghouls and Ghosts is hard.
Well, that's the easiest version of it.
I mean, I could tell it was easier than the others, but it doesn't mean I made it very far.
I love that box art, and now we have the NES, Super NES, and the Genesis version.
I agree. The box art is pretty fabulous. Yeah. So this is the game that inspired the purchase of the Super Scope, Yoshi's Safari.
Yeah, I played it a lot, emulating it back in the day. You could emulate a Super Scope with a mouse. I just played it like that. I think I beat it a couple of times too, because playing it like that is super easy.
Yeah, it's kind of hard.
Yeah, it's when those Goombas are flying towards your face and you can only see 80% of the screen, and kind of like, I think we're too close, honestly.
Oh, really?
I guess we could stand behind the couch. It's not the damn thing's not tethered to anything. It's got 6 fucking AA batteries, but maybe that would help.
Yeah, I should play that later. So Andy already mentioned that we got this, but it's the Super Scope 6.
Yeah, the 6 games that we played. Lastris, which I couldn't make heads or tails of.
So then we got Super Baseball 2020.
Yeah, it's 2020, so we decided to get a game with 2020 in it.
No, we used to play this game at my great aunt's house, and I could never remember the name of it, but my brother was talking about it, and he figured out that it was this one. So
it turns out it's a game made by SNK, who made really good, arcade games, and it came out in Neo Geo and a bunch of different places. We saw a Neo Geo cabinet with that specific game in it while we were down there. I haven't played around with it yet. I need to mess around with it. But it's robots and baseball.
Yeah. And then, last Super Nintendo game was a gift, Uniracers.
Uniracers.
My sister gave me this game.
Yeah, it's made by DMA Design, the people who go on to be Rockstar, I believe, make Grand Theft Auto.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a cool little racing stunt type game. It reminds me of a lot of like snowboarding games would become, where it's like you're racing, but you have to do tricks to get boosts, and also points. And there's stunt modes where points only matter. There's race modes where race matters. It's like a 2D SSX almost.
So next, I would like to show you my Game Boy Color games that I got. So I got Mario Twisted.
That's WarioWare Twisted. That's a Game Boy Advance game.
WarioWare. Oh, oops.
Yep.
Okay. I'll show you all my Game Boy Advance games and then I'll come back. WarioWare Twisted. And, I mean, it's your traditional WarioWare game, but you tilt
the
console back and forth to accomplish the little tasks. So it's pretty an interesting shape. I also got Rayman Raving Rabbids.
Yeah, I don't know why.
It was a really cheap game, but I like rabbits and I like Rayman, so that's why I got it. My sister also got the same game, and I got Advance Wars 2, a little strategy game.
Yeah, it's a kind of Fire Emblem but with tanks.
Yeah.
I want to get the first one. Didn't see the first one anywhere.
No, I was looking for it yesterday, even, and I saw a prettier copy of this.
Oh yeah, that one's got a little scratch on it.
Yeah. And then I got this game, which actually wasn't released here. Dragon Quest Caravan Heart.
It's a dragon, so monsters game, right?
Yep. Started playing it a little bit, but got a ways to go.
Starring one of the characters from Dragon Quest 7.
Keeper. So I got Kirby Tilt and Tumble.
Yep. Another game with a tilt sensor in it.
Yep, so you just kind of sort of tilt it back and forth and you just try to roll Kirby throughout the level. And it's super fun. I definitely like to play more of it. And you can't beat a see-through clear cartridge.
In pink.
And pink, yes. Picked this up yesterday. Super Mario Brothers Deluxe.
Yes, it's basically just a remake of, well, not even a remake, it's Super Mario Brothers, the original, and it's got some extra stuff in it. Like some little mini games and challenges, and they added a world map between levels, which is something, I guess. But playing that game's hard because it's like playing original Mario, but really zoomed in. So you can't really see what's in front of you as well as you could on the NES. Like it's super zoomed in.
Interesting. And lastly, we got Aladdin.
Aladdin, so yeah, I messed around with that last night after you fell asleep. It's a port of the Genesis game to the Game Boy Color, which is really weird. It's got fucking terrible versions of the Aladdin songs on that fucking Game Boy sound chip.
Well, I really sucked at it. So this one was a gift. It's a Neo Geo Pocket Color game called Baseball Stars.
Yeah, and I've never seen a Neo Geo Pocket Color in the box before.
Yeah, me neither. But yeah, it's in the box. It is quite nice.
Another SNK baseball game.
Look at that. Shoot. Sorry, guys. So here in the case, new manual and everything. It's in pretty pristine condition.
Yeah, it's
except
incredible.
for a little wear and tear around the edges, but not bad at all. I mean, it's really beautiful.
Considering the fact that's the only one I've ever seen in my life, it's pretty good.
And the art is pretty cool. Very colorful.
Yeah.
And fun. Colony Wars.
Colony Wars. Shoot on the PlayStation. I saw it at one of the stores, and yeah, it's kind of those PlayStation cases don't hold up.
Broken.
Yep.
I haven't tried this one out yet.
I did.
Is it fun?
I played a tiny bit of it. It had a really long cutscene at the beginning, and it was late that night. I think the one that I rented the most was the sequel, Colony Wars Vengeance. This might be the coolest thing we got.
Yeah. PlayStation game.
Lunar Silver Star.
Silver Star story.
Complete.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's got everything in there. The working designs always did a ton with their packaging. What's it got? Like a map. I forget everything that's in there.
I'll show you.
An art book.
Yeah, it's got a cool little art book. So it's got lyrics to the songs.
Was it like a strategy guide?
And the characters. It's pretty neat.
Yes.
And then, yeah, this is the little map.
It's a little cloth map. They don't really do those anymore.
Check it.
The map of the world, you got it upside down.
Oh, thank you. Little cloth map. And then we have the game here.
Yep. It's got a soundtrack in there too.
Now, for real this time, the last game. It's a PlayStation 2 game, and it's called Dark Alliance.
Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance.
Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance.
Yes, it's a Diablo style clone set in the D&D universe. It's I remember renting it back in the day during the dying days of my Blockbuster adventures. But yeah, I really liked it, and it's cool. We should do some 2-player.
We should. So yeah, we Got a lot of cool games.
Yep.
It was a good couple of weeks.
Yep. What you think, Cathy?
I feel pretty good about my life with all these games that I didn't have in my life before.
Now we need to try to fit them on the shelves.
Yeah, that's the real challenge.
Say goodbye, Cathy.